Good morning, everyone. My name is Corey and welcome to the channel. Hope this video finds everybody doing well. So today we are going to get back on to working on the deer blind. Now we're going to finish up the inside of it. We've got the outside pretty much finished up. We're going to work on the inside. We've got to make a correction to the wrong door I bought. It was actually too wide. It's not made for 2x4 studs. It's more made for like 2x8 studs. So we're going to correct that so I can correct the wall. I figured I didn't want to, since I got such a great deal on it, I didn't want to return that door and then buy a more expensive door because I got a really good deal on it. I'm just going to make the walls work and then take it from there. So if you didn't see that video, by all means, please go back and watch them. You'll notice that we've got a really wide door frame here and our 2x4 studs are about 2 1/4 inches shorter than what the stud is. So what I need to do is bring these studs out to meet this door frame so that way we can trim it up. I want this to look real nice because obviously it's going to last me probably the rest of my life, and hopefully it'll last into my grandkids' lives and my kids' lives. So we want to make it look nice and do it right. And I figure since we have leftover 2x4s from all the pallets that we tore down, it'd be a pretty easy fix. So you've probably seen in the intro, we pulled up here, we got a bunch of 2x4s. These are only 6-footers. These are what we had left over from some pallets that we tore down, as I said before. These are not going to be supporting, so all I need to do is use them to shim out that wall. So that way all the wall covering will be nice and even and I won't have any weird trim or any weird cuts to make. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff all unloaded. We still need to go get the chop saw. And before we get to all that, I have to install an outside electrical outlet. I got some electricity in here now. Basically, we run an extension cord to a shore power plug out here from our garage, and that will actually give us electricity out here, and I need an outside outlet so that way I can plug my chop saw into it and don't have to make a mess on the inside of it. The only thing left to do is test it out and see if it works. Well, I'm glad that's done. That 10-gauge wire isn't easy to work with, but like I said, it's what I have left over. It's just a deer blind, so it's overkill for what this is, but it works. Anyways, now on to the fun part. We got to rip some 2x4s down 2.5 inches, so that way it's even with this door frame. And then we got to measure and cut each one and go all the way around this whole wall in particular. And then once that's done, we can start getting onto the insulation. Now this job would be a whole lot easier if I had a table saw up here. And I do have a battery powered saw at home, a flex table saw, which is actually a really nice table saw. But I don't have it up here. I didn't have enough room to bring that and the insulation and everything up. So I'm going to use a skill saw and hopefully get them decently straight. And then we'll go ahead and put the insulation in after. All right, so now all that we're doing is we're basically just taking that, basically it's a 2x3. Putting it up here, we got it countersunk drilled. And then we're going to run a 3.5-inch screw into the other side. Now obviously it would have cost me a whole lot less time if I'd have just went and bought 2x3s. But there's two factors that kind of went into it for me. Like I said before, these are pallet wood boards that we had stripped down before, and that was the first reason, so it didn't cost me anything. The second reason is basically because it's for me to go to one of the big box stores and grab a couple of 2x3s. It's just about an hour trip there. Well, it's about a 20-minute trip there, a half hour in the store, and probably a 20-minute trip back. So you roughly got about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Since I'm only here on the weekend, it's just beneficial for me to just do this. And then it saves me money in the long run as well. So we've got all the studs extended out that we needed to. We did this one, this one, this one. We did all the ones up here. We really don't need to do these ones here just because we're putting the cedar plank fence picketing up, and it's going to be plenty strong in between there. We're really not going to be mounting anything to this wall, so it should be plenty strong. I can pretty much push on this pretty hard, and it's not bowing very much, so it'll be plenty strong for what we need. So now we're going to move on to insulation. I've got two of these bags here. I should be able to complete most of it. However, is it just me, or does everything always take longer than what it's supposed to? Seems like every project that I do, that I don't do professionally, obviously, it always takes double or triple the time that I think it should. I actually thought this should have took just 4 or 5 hours today. I've been working at it since 9:30 this morning, and now it's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're going to lead in tomorrow. Let me know in the comments, do you guys have that same issue, or is it just me? So basically what we're going to do is we're going to actually do the ones that are, the studs are 16 inches on center. Just do those first, and then the ones that are oddball sizes, we'll do those after. Boy, I need a new razor. Because this stuff's pretty expensive. I don't like cutting it, and that's why I bought the stuff that was exactly 4 16-inch on center studs. Although on the deer blind there's a whole lot of negotiation there in smaller sizes, so I'm gonna have to do some cutting. Now, one thing nice about this pre-cut stuff is on the 16-inch on center studs, you can just basically put it up in there, fold the little flap out, and staple it to your stud. And it fits exactly from ceiling to floor as long as you got 8-foot walls. Really nice. It works out really nice, and it goes quick. I tried the rolled stuff in the garage, and it took me quite a bit longer because we had to cut it and measure it, and it was just kind of a pain. Now this is more expensive, but it's only a couple bucks more per square foot, so really not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this stuff up, or how much ever I can tonight, and I will see you back in the morning. Well, good morning. So I ended up getting about 3/4 of the deer blind done, or 3 of the 4 walls. I do have one section over to my left here that I got to do, but we got to put a nailer stud in there, and I found a couple areas where I'm going to need to put nailer studs in. Right up over here on this back wall that we modified, I actually kind of messed up and put it on the wrong stud, but we'll take some 2x4s and actually make it right. It shouldn't be a big deal. We'll just got to do a nailer stud for some of the ceiling covering there. So what I'm actually talking about is I put the stud on, or the extension out there on the top plate, the double top plate, and I needed to put it down on the actual top plate. That way we can nail our ceiling slats from the ceiling. We're going to kind of do it just like this here. It's going to look like that, so I got to have a nailer to put my studs on there. So this over here, we got to add a 2x4 here, so that way we got something to nail to for the siding, and same thing on this corner over here. So right now we're going to go ahead and measure and cut out some of the nailer studs and then put those up, and then we'll move on to finishing up the insulation. So now we got the nailer studs up. We're going to go ahead and start putting in the insulation. And I'm really curious about something. So what is the proper way when you have to cut a sheet? This is actually only about 10 inches or so. When you have to cut a sheet, is the proper way to staple it, use your cut line, and then leave a little overlap and staple it here? Or how do you do it? What is the proper way? I'm really curious. Put me a comment down below if you could, please. Another question. Do you put your insulation inside the stud, or do you wrap it on the outside and then staple it that way? From everything I've read, you put it inside the stud. According to the internet, I got a friend on Google, most people and most professionals actually put it inside the stud and leave the outside of the edge of the studs exposed. Just curious, how do you do it? And so we got her all done. It's all insulated now. Got all the walls done. The only one I don't have attached is this one right here. We're going to put a vent in up there and a fan. I'm just waiting for the outside cap to come in for it. I had to get a rainproof cap so that way the rain doesn't get in there. So that's what we're going to do with that. And I did have a little bit extra left over, so I did insulate the loft. Don't know how much that's going to help or do anything. Matter of fact, I doubt it's going to do anything at all. And I doubled up on the insulation over here just because. I had extra, so might as well. So I think that's going to be it for today's video. If y'all would, just give me a like down there and don't forget to leave a comment. Have yourselves a great day, and hopefully you will see me on the next one.